Good Wednesday evening, April 2nd, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Mike Steele, the state representative for the 12th District, says he likes the look of the new capital budget now making its way through the legislature. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says it's looking for suspects who burglarized a Chelan gas station. Get ready for an early spring warming trend with temperatures around 60 tomorrow and well into the 60s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. Moses Lake police on Monday arrested a 54-year-old resident for allegedly selling methamphetamine and fentanyl in the community. Gregory Laverne Wilson was booked on a federal charge of drug possession with intent to distribute after a warrant search of his home. Local police worked with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms to build the case against Wilson. In the search, they allegedly seized roughly 1.4 pounds of meth, 9 ounces of fentanyl in powder form, and more than 1,500 fentanyl tablets. Wilson was booked into the Spokane County Jail. Authorities say he also faces a charge of unlawful weapon possession. Demolition of Sexton Hall is well underway at Wenatchee Valley College. Crews started tearing down the building to make room for the college's Center for Technical Education and Innovation. Sexton Hall was once the home of the Robert Graves Gallery before the entire collection was sold in 2022. According to the college's website, the $39 million building will be approximately 60,000 square feet and be dedicated to specialty hands-on learning. The facility will house Wenatchee Valley College's agriculture, natural resources, computer technology, and engineering programs, among other STEM learning opportunities. Mike Steele, the state representative for the 12th District, says he likes the look of the new capital budget now making its way through the legislature. The capital budget outlines Washington's planned spending on infrastructure and building for the next 2 years. The current bill is a $7.6 billion budget that includes roughly $132 million for the Wenatchee Valley and the rest of the 12th District, including $6 million for ongoing irrigation improvements on Icicle Creek, $1 million to restore the exterior of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, and $10 million for a planned redesign of the Wenatchee Tree Fruit Research Center. The budget plan still awaits approval in the House and Senate. The operating budget is Washington's other huge spending package. Governor Bob Ferguson weighed in Tuesday and threw cold water on a Democratic proposal for a wealth tax designed to help close a multi-billion-dollar projected deficit. Murrow News fellow Albert James with the Olympia Bureau takes a look at what must happen next to pass an operating budget by the end of April.
If the legislature wishes to complete our work on time, they need to immediately move the budget discussions in a significantly different direction.
Governor Ferguson says budget proposals from fellow Democrats in control of the legislature aren't close to where he'd want them to be to get his signature. While he acknowledged the state can't solely rely on cuts to close its budget shortfall, he says there are far too much in taxes in the Democratic proposals. He singled out the idea of instituting a tax on the assets of wealthy individuals, concerned about how successful it would be in the long term and if it's even constitutional.
The legal arguments for a wealth tax are untested. The courts could go either way on that issue. It would be irresponsible to rely on an untested new tax to balance our budget.
While he didn't comment on other revenue proposals because of ongoing negotiations, he raised concerns around a Senate Democratic idea to tap into state reserve funding. He says that money is key at a time where there's a lot of uncertainty with tariffs, funding cuts, and other actions from the other Washington.
Hope is not a strategy with Donald Trump. Take my word on that. I am not going to allow the state that I love to be at the financial mercy of Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That is not going to happen.
Before the governor spoke, Democratic leaders said a lot of conversations would be taking place over the next few weeks to get one budget across the finish line.
We have lots of plans B, C, and D. We're going to have good, productive conversations, and we fully intend to give him a budget and a set of revenue bills that he will support and consign.
Legislators have to pass a budget to the governor before session ends on April 27th. In Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
When we come back, Moses Lake police say they've arrested 3 people in a drive-by shooting believed to have been retaliation for the murder of a 14-year-old boy. And U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington's 6th District joined New Jersey Senator Cory Booker in his marathon floor speech on Tuesday. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Be sure to tune in for coverage of local sports. Once again, this spring we'll bring you prep boys soccer, baseball, and softball. In addition, we're adding Wenatchee Bighorn basketball in March, April, and May. It's all right here on the NCWLIFE channel, our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as our website at ncwlife.com.
The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says it's looking for suspects who burglarized a Chelan gas station. The break-in took place in the early hours on Tuesday, March 25th at Bill's Gas. That's in the 800 block of East Woodin Avenue. Deputies say at least 4 people were involved and rifled the convenience store for goods and valuables. They're seeking anyone who might recognize the suspects. Anyone with information about the crime is asked to call the sheriff's tip line at 509-667-6845. Moses Lake police say they've arrested 3 people in a drive-by shooting believed to have been retaliation for the murder of a 14-year-old boy. 18-year-old Mario Picardo and 2 young teen suspects were taken into custody Sunday after multiple shots were fired into an occupied home and multiple parked cars in the 9800 block of Olympic Drive Northeast. Police tracked a suspect vehicle to a home on West Knowles Vista Drive, where they arrested Picardo and confiscated 12 firearms. 14-year-old Mario Amezcua Santoya was killed in a March 21st drive-by on West Loop Road. 3 people are now in custody in that case. U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington's 6th District joined New Jersey Senator Cory Booker in his marathon floor speech on Tuesday. Booker's record-breaking speech partly targeted President Donald Trump's budget resolution, which proposes an $880 billion cut to Medicaid, among other items. While on the floor, Cantwell spoke about the impact cuts to Medicaid would have on Washington state.
In my state, I have, as I said, nearly 1.8 million people who are on Medicaid, and the same problem is now where our colleagues are trying to say they're going to get $880 billion out of the energy and commerce budget of the House of Representatives, when in reality, like 90% of that money is Medicare or Medicaid, and if Medicare is supposedly off the table, then the majority of that is going to come from Medicaid. So in my state, I'm hearing from hospitals that means they could close. That means essential Medicaid services that are used even in our jails, or for fentanyl treatment, or Medicaid that is used as a Obamacare expansion for health care, that so many literally red Republican states, Republican governors have said, we want that. The governor of Idaho, yes, we want that. That's an expansion of Medicaid, and it's successfully working at providing health care to millions of Americans. But now our colleagues are entertaining a notion that they could cut this system. They're not really making it clear. So again, the illumination of you showing the urgency is like a big flag that we're trying to show to the American people. This is not a drill. This is now. This is happening. The beginnings of it are happening. And now this debate that's going to ensue is going to be a massive cut into those programs unless the American people wake up. Now,
Coming up next, Bear Signs and Embroidery has been on McKittrick Street for the last 19 years. Now, phase 1 of the Confluence Parkway project, a massive street and bridge project, has forced the business to relocate. In tonight's feature story, the store's owner says the relocation might be a good thing. Beautiful spring weather is headed our way. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
When you enjoy Abby's Pizza at your place, close your eyes and you can taste old-fashioned values, classic pizza parlor decor, and generations of tradition. Recreate that magic. Open your eyes and head to abbys.com. With pickup and delivery options, no matter where you dine, Abby's just tastes better. This is Skinny, and he helped found Abby's 60 years ago. In honor of Skinny, we're putting his favorite pizza on sale. Savory pizza sauce, Canadian bacon piled to the edge, and juicy tomatoes make this a very special pizza. Order your Skinny special right now at abbys.com.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
Bear Signs and Embroidery, a local signage shop, has been at 1422 McKittrick Street for the last 19 years. Now, phase 1 of the Confluence Parkway project, that's that massive street and bridge project, has forced the business to relocate. Owners Dennis and Samuel Weddle and Lily Velasco have moved the store to 418 South Wenatchee Avenue. In tonight's features story, NCWLIFE News spoke with Dennis, who told us this change might be a good thing.
I started the business, started putting it together in 2005, and we moved into that building in 2006. So we're there basically 19 years. Started in the basement, little bitty shop, and then we ended up getting the whole top floor and half the basement area because we've grown. The talk of what was being planned when it was being planned, I didn't really take it too serious because it went from month to month because they kept changing their plans and everything. And then we had a meeting with Terra Right-of-Way Service, and he gave us a timeline, which we had like 3 or 4 months before we had to move. So we had plenty of time to start searching and looking, and they were helping us search and look. But man, it was, out of all the things, finding a place was probably the most stressful. And then it got down to where I was just driving around looking for empty buildings. And then I thought I had a building down here. Jeremy had a business down the road here, and it looked like the building was vacant. But he said a locksmith company was in there. But he goes, hey, I got this building up on Main Street there on Wenatchee Avenue you might be interested in. And so it's taken a lot of work, but we actually found a building. So then the stress kind of went down. And then Chris was really great with staying in contact with me and helping me down the line, getting bids on moving our stuff for us, and just making sure that there was at least stress as possible. I mean, it's stressful moving, especially if you've been somewhere for 19 years. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. There'd be a lot of stuff. We got a smaller facility here, and then I also rented a shop down the road at Mill Pond. We got to work on that because we just kind of used that for storage to move. But that's where we're going to do the vehicles, because it's a big heated shop to pull vans and stuff in. Well, I had over 3,000 square foot in the old place. I didn't use a lot of it, but I had it. And then we went to about 1,800 square foot. So we lost a little over 1,000 square foot. But it's okay because we just be more efficient and everything's closer. I think we'll do better here. It got a little tight for us at one time, and they went above and beyond to make sure that we had the money to operate during this move. They really helped out a lot. I mean, they said they were going to do it, and then they followed through, and then when things got really tight, they speeded up the process for me, and it really saved my bacon. You know, I was using my savings, my retirement and stuff, and so they really helped me out as far as financially, because, you know, loss of business and everything. They took in consideration everything. It's probably a well-planned, necessary move by the city, you know, to keep traffic flowing. At first I was like, oh, dang it, you know, because I had to move. But in all reality, I think that it's a plan for growth in our community. And sometimes I think growth is not good, but really it is, you know. I mean, anything that grows is better.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic April 2nd. Today is National Autism Awareness Day. I have my autism tie on in commemoration of that today. Also, it's in commemoration of my daughter Sydney. So it wasn't a bad day out there today. Typical early April day, a mix of clouds and sun, even some isolated shower activity around our area, not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley. Also some breezy conditions at times out there today. And as we take a look at what we saw in the past month or so in March, here's our climate comparisons. Here we are in Wenatchee. We averaged 45.6 degrees in March. That's up 2.5 degrees. Just under an inch of precipitation fell last month, and that's just over a quarter of an inch above where we should be for this time of year. So warmer and wetter for the month of March. And speaking of warmer, we're going to warm up here as we get into the upcoming weekend. We'll have more on that in a second. Unofficially today, high temperature 57, just 1 degree below where we should be at 58 for this time of year. 78, our record high. That was set in 1992. This morning, a little bit chilly out there, 37, about where we should be for lows this time of year. 38 is normal. 27, our record low, set just 2 years ago in 2023. Sunrise this morning, 6:37, and it sets tonight at 7:33. Let's get into this beautiful forecast now as we get to you into Thursday. 60 degrees in the Columbia Basin. Quincy, Ephrata, Moses Lake, all should see 60 tomorrow. From Ellensburg through Wenatchee, Entiat, and Chelan, and all the way into Omak, we will be very close to 60 degrees at around 59. Mid-50s for Lake Wenatchee and mid to upper 50s for Leavenworth and Cashmere. So a normal day tomorrow, and then temperatures going up from there. The reason, a large area of high pressure, and you can see the ridge in the Pacific beginning to build, and that will push eastward. So tonight we expect partly cloudy and cool conditions, lows in the mid-30s. And then for Thursday, this is where the warming trend begins. Mostly sunny skies for us tomorrow. We'll see highs generally around 60 for almost all of us, and then it's going up for Friday as we end our work week. Sunny skies out there, high pressure in Montana. Louisiana, and also a warm high pressure down just off the California coast. Going to keep us clear and warmer with high temperatures Friday into the low 60s. And for our weekend, I'll tell you folks, I hope you have outdoor plans. Saturday, ridge firmly in place over the Pacific Northwest, sunny and warmer on Saturday with high temperatures in those mid 60s. By the time we get into Sunday, our ridge will still be in place. It will break down just a little bit. A trough of low pressure is forming off the California coast. That's going to bring some clouds our way, especially late in the day, early evening on Sunday. Still going to be warm out there with highs in the mid to upper 60s. And then as that low pushes into the state on Monday, cloudy skies, a bit breezy as well on Monday. About a 40% chance that we will see some rain showers. The good news, we're still going to stay mild with highs in the low 60s. And then as we get you into Tuesday, the end of our forecast, still some windy conditions around the state for Tuesday. Partly cloudy, dry and mild for then, with high temperatures still nice in the low to mid 60s. Here's your 7-day forecast now. 35 overnight tonight, almost 60 degrees for tomorrow. Low temperature about 37. And here's our nice warm up Friday and right into the upcoming weekend. 61 Friday, 64 and sunny on Saturday. Increasing clouds for Sunday and 66. And then a chance for showers, some breezy conditions on Monday and 62. And back to the nice weather on Tuesday with partly cloudy skies and a high temperature of 63 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What once was old now is new to the NCWLIFE channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station. And a happy Wednesday to you. Detroit one-hit the Mariners last night, dropping Seattle to a 2-4 start on the season with the 4-1 victory. Logan Gilbert was touched up for 3 runs in the first 3 innings. His pitch count got up, so he only lasted through 5. In the meantime, he did strike out 10 batters in the loss.
As this ends up by Bliss into right field. Kerry Carpenter attacking early. The Tigers have the lead in the first inning once again. 3-1. Lifted into left. This gets down for a base hit. That extra base for Carpenter coming into play. It's 2-0 and another airmail, this time from a Rosarena. The Tigers are peppering the Mariners in the first inning in this series. Right field, off the bat of Torkelson toward the corner. That is a hit all the way to the wall. It's going to be 3-0, and the month of torque that was March has now rolled into April. First base side. Oh my goodness, Torque again flying through the Seattle sky. Torque's up.
Boy, and this is it. Spencer has had a rough day at the plate with 3 strikeouts, but you know what? He can affect the game with plays like that. Look at him up on his toes, that pre-pitch preparation where he's got that little hop, gets right up onto his toes and able to dive to his right.
Maybe if it is a changeup.
Cracked out to left. Will it drop? No, it hangs up in time. Caught by McKinstry. Throw home is well wide of the plate. Rosarena scores.
Two-1 rolled to first. Torkelson collects a victory for the Tigers. Another first inning surge holds up. Tommy Canley gets his first Tiger save, and it's 2 in a row in the win column and a chance for a sweep with Skubal tomorrow.
Dan Wilson says Logan gave Seattle everything he could, while Detroit starter Casey Mize kept the Mariner hitters off balance.
You know, Logan, I thought he pitched well for those 5 innings. You know, they got to him a little bit early, but 10 punchies in the 5 innings. I thought he settled into a pretty good rhythm. And it was a night where we needed him to go deep, and he really got us to where we needed to be, and still wanted to go more. He was determined to get us through 6, but we were at a point there where we had to do what we had to do, but the bullpen stepped up and did their job again tonight and kept it right where it was. We're early on here, and we got to be realistic about where we're at. The competitor in him wanted to go out and keep going. Again, when you have a bullpen that's been doing what these guys have been doing, it's you feel pretty good about giving the ball to them as well. Location was pretty good tonight, and just kept us from mounting anything. We did again hit a couple balls hard at timely times, or at timely points in the game. They were able to make a play and kind of shut things down. But we just weren't able to get much going offensively. Splitters it's one of those pitches that's seemingly it's either on or off, and tonight he had a good one. Just weren't able to square it up. For whatever reason, he had it going to where he good location with it, kept it down, and weren't able to stay on that pitch well enough to get a barrel to it.
Detroit was going for the sweep earlier today at T-Mobile Park. After today, the Mariners are heading for San Francisco to begin a weekend series with the Giants starting on Friday. By the way, the Mariners were off to a good start today. Highlights tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The Angels have the early lead in the American League West. Now, there's a lot of people that would have bet against that. L.A. won another extra inning game last night, topping St. Louis 9-7 in 11 innings. Texas blanked the Reds 1-0. San Francisco beat Houston 3-1. The Cubs beat the Athletics by a final of 7-4. Seattle Kraken begin a 3-game road trip tonight. They are in Vancouver to take on the Canucks.
This season doesn't end and start next year. It starts right now. I think you got to try, and we've talked about that for the last month and a half, about just trying to build an identity as a group, building some culture, and feeling proud about what we accomplished in the last little bit, even though the circumstances.
Given the opportunity, he's turned into a clear difference maker for us, and I think we've seen it for 2.5 months. But last game in particular, you saw him and his line getting back to the offensive zone, hanging on to pucks, making plays, creating zone time, and just being a dangerous group and a dangerous person doing so. And the goal is an indication of that, but the goal is an indication of the line playing well.
The game at Rogers Arena tonight begins at 7:30. It'll be a broadcast on King 5 and Kong TV. The Wenatchee baseball team won its 5th straight last night. Panthers blanked Sunnyside by a final of 6-0. Moses Lake beat Eisenhower by that same score of 6-zip. Eastmont blasted Davis 14-1. Other action saw Cashmere and Royal split a doubleheader, with the Bulldogs winning the opener 15-5, while the Knights took the nightcap 5-4. Sela doubled up Ephrata 8-4. Ellensburg down Quincy 8-2, and Chelan clobbered Cascade 16-0. Wenatchee won its first Big 9 fast pitch game of the season, downing Sunnyside 5-3 last night. Natchez Valley swept Chelan in a doubleheader 18-15 and 20-3. Big 9 boys soccer last night saw Sunnyside edging Eastmont 2-1, while Moses Lake blanked West Valley 2-0. In CWAC play, Ephrata topped Ellensburg 2-0, while Grandview shut out Quincy 2-0. Cashmere earned a big non-league win over LaSalle by a final of 7-0. Finally, NCWLIFE features Big 9 boys soccer Friday night when the Wenatchee Panthers host the Moses Lake Mavericks at Lee-Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen will have the call. Our pregame gets underway at 6:45 right here on your local TV station. That's a check of sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
The Wenatchee Bighorns are back in action against the Salem Capitals in TBL play on Thursday, April 17th. Join Grant Olson and Jamie Council with all the action here on the NCWLIFE channel. WB Smith Gym on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College is the home for Bighorns basketball, and you can see it live here on the NCWLIFE channel.